सार सबै मान्छेलाई समेट्न सक्यौँ भने अझ हामी बलियो हुन्छौँ। त्यो भन्दैमा अङ्ग्रेजी बोल्यो भन्दैमा नेपाली भाषालाई गलत्याएको माया नगरेको होइन, तर इट्स अल्सो पार्ट अफ where you are comfortable, how you can convey the message the best way the world can come together. So I'm not going to talk about women's rights because we have been talking about it and we are believers. That's why all of us are here. But I'm going to add another dimension onto the rights of humanity. That includes men and women. As you can see, why do I carry this white cane? Can anyone tell? Why? Don't be shy.
That's your eye.
So
That's your eye.
what's the word for that? Whenever a person carries a white cane, that means that person is blind. This is an international symbol that identifies blind people all over the world. White stick, exactly. We call white cane. So times people tell me, this is your lati. I say, this is not my lati, this is my seto chari or white cane. Because anybody can carry a lati. Even in America, we say it's not a stick. Because if anybody carries a stick, that doesn't mean that it identifies blindness. So in this dimension, when we talk about rights of humanity, you know what? In our culture, we don't think about people with disabilities. Forget about the rights of people with disabilities. Am I correct? How long blind people with disabilities have become dependent. Not only that, they become burden of the family. Nobody chooses to live as a burden. Nobody enjoys that. But when we are pushed and when we are left behind, we don't have a choice but to be a burden. You know, as we talk about stories, I'm very lucky. In my family, I grew up and they always believed in me, but also they knew the minute they told me that I couldn't do it, I turned around and proved them wrong. And they realized they couldn't stop this child. They believed in me in my education. Because of the education process, I was selected to study in America from Nepal. That's what brought me to America. And just like any other struggle, I went through all this struggle on top of that as an international student. But I have no regrets. Today, I am very proud to represent a Nepali woman and be a Nepalese American. On top of that, a Nepalese woman, a Nepalese American with a disability, but she is a professional. She leads people, but I couldn't have done it without all of the wonderful people who are here and who are beyond. But even in this text, in this context, my family couldn't believe a blind woman is an eligible, not only eligible, but a worthy candidate for marriage. Don't we all talk about that? I know. You know, in our culture, sometimes we say, as a woman, you shouldn't talk about getting married. It's part of life. When we are born as people, some people, you know, we get married. My family couldn't imagine. And they couldn't even propose another family for me to get married, whether I would have approved that man or not. But the context came, you know, a wonderful man came in my life who happens to be Caucasian. And obviously, he got to know me, I got to know him, and we decided, you know, probably it's better, you know, we wanna share our lives together. I then obviously wanted to being a respectful and daughter and, you know, whatever we call a good girl. That's what we say, a good girl. And so I told my family, and I also want to respect our culture, because culture is very important within the given boundaries. But the question came, oh my God, this sighted Caucasian man, what does he want from this blind woman? Why can't he find a sighted woman? And he said, you know what? I happen to fall in love with a blind woman. It doesn't matter to me whether she is blind or sighted. I wanted to marry a good man, good woman, and this woman is the best one for me. But it's still the question came, oh, he has an agenda. Oh, he wants something. But you know, as we have been talking about here, the culture, the customs, who writes the culture? Who develops the culture? Who writes the custom? It's us. It's in our mindset. Nobody dictated to write those cultures and customs. It was written, somebody wrote it, and we have been the implementers. We say, oh, this is our culture. We better stick with it. We are the one also the change. If we don't believe in the change, we have no rights to criticize about our culture and customs. So, as we leaders, as we implementers, as we believers, as we, the founders of the change, let's start rewriting our customs. Let's restart rewriting our cultures. At the same time, giving the respect. Even in America, blind people, people with disabilities, we didn't have rights. Nobody gave it to us. Then we fought. So then we have today as rights. The Americans with Disabilities has been the first in America established. There is no reason why we can't do it in Nepal too. On July 11th, I'm taking a project to Nepal to empower the blind of Nepal and bring disability awareness in our culture, in our country. I can guarantee you, people will be closing doors and saying, you're gonna expect my 6-year-old son or daughter to pour a glass of water? That's why we have a babysitter or a maid at home. You know what? That child will grow up being a burden. Tomorrow, our parents, it's a part of life. We all die. Whether we live in America or in Nepal or in Bangladesh, one day, human beings will all die. When those parents pass away, that same child as an adult will become a burden to the brothers and sisters. As I said, nobody wishes to live as a burden. So I am very grateful. Leaders like Ram Karel and the organization like Nepali Women Global Network of California Chapter and many other individuals and organizations like Nepali Center of Orlando have become sponsors. They have supported for our project. So this is not my project or Buna Dahal's project or Blind Core's project. It's the project of Nepal and Nepalese people. I count on all of your support and help. And the biggest thing is believe in people with disabilities. That's how, in the process of building our nation, it's not only men and women, but all people with different abilities and capacities. It is truly my honor to address all of you and our family, the Nepalese community. Thank you very much.